Junkyard Dogs. Georgia Bulldogs had a defense in 1975 that was characterized by its fighting, tenacious, determined style, which gave them their famous nickname, taken from the song Bad, Bad Leroy Brown. Not big, not talented, not individually outstanding, but quick, tough, and determined. This no-name defense did an about-face from 1974 and gave Georgia coach Vince Dooley one of his most popular teams. A hard-hitting defense and a versatile veer offense took the Bulldogs to the Cotton Bowl on January 1st, their 9th postseason appearance under Dooley. The Junkyard Dogs gave a good account of themselves in the opening game with Pittsburgh. Sophomore running back Kevin McClee, a native of Uniontown, Pennsylvania, displayed a running style that was to play a key role in the offensive attack throughout the year. His 1-yard plunge in the first quarter gave the Bulldogs an early lead, but mistakes and rains hobbled the offense much of the second half. Bill Krug and Brad Thompson were among the defensive stars, throwing pitch Robert Haygood for a loss of a yard. Then Johnny Henderson, son of former Georgia player Billy Henderson, is responsible for a 2-point safety as Swider fails to get off a fourth-quarter punt. The Panthers prevail in the opening game in Sanford Stadium by the score of 19-9. Mississippi State, a Cinderella team in '74, brought one of the strongest teams in the SEC to Athens for the Bulldogs' second encounter. Following a go-ahead touchdown, Georgia gained the upper hand with this sensational defensive play. Dickie Clark, a former quarterback, grabbed a state pass, batted in the air by Ronnie Swoopes, and returned it 71 yards for a touchdown. Quarterback Ray Goff, number 10, hit Richard Appleby on the street for 70 yards and a third touchdown against the Mississippi State club. Threadgill's fumble was caused by freshman Ricky McBride and recovered by Swoopes. Keep your eye on number 39, Kevin McClee, as he gets the final touchdown for a 28-6 Georgia win. A big victory that boosted the team's confidence. Alan Levitt, probably one of the best place kickers in Bulldog history, kicked the extra point. It was an offensive battle in Columbia under the lights, and Glenn Harrison had one of his greatest games, gaining 160 yards against the South Carolina Gamecocks. This is 25 yards on the counter. McClee gets 12 on the option, behind some blocking by Mike Wilson. End zone camera shows McClee 5 yards and a touchdown. Georgia set a new rushing record, 297 yards in the season per game, breaking the old record by 60 yards set back in 1941. Goff to Gene Washington. 22 yards, and Georgia had a first down. Then it's Harrison for 10. And Kevin McClee for 2 and the touchdown. On the counter, Andy Reid, son of 40's great Breezy Reid, goes 14 yards. Watch this broken play. Ray Goff goes up the middle. And Georgia has scored again. The final drive begins in the fourth quarter when McLee goes 9 yards on the counter play. Then Glenn Harrison shows the running form that made him a record-breaking offensive performer. 20 yards on the counter behind tight end Richard Appleby to lead the Bulldogs to a 28-20 victory. McLee tied a single-game scoring record in the Clemson game with 4 touchdowns. That's his second from 1 yard out. Now Goff goes back and hits Appleby again. This one went for 9 yards. And Glenn Harrison takes it in from 10 yards out to give the Bulldogs a commanding 21-0 lead. Time for those junkyard dogs again as Dickie Clark and Rusty Russell force a fumble, and Clark, number 87, recovers. Quarterback Matt Robinson hits Mark Wilson for 39 yards on the post route. And McLee takes it in from a yard out for his third score. Krug blocks this punt. Brad Sescuti recovers, and Georgia has the ball once again. Kevin McLee led the Southeastern Conference with 10 touchdowns. This is his fourth against Clemson on this day when Georgia waltzed to a 35-7 win. Injuries, fumbles, the heat, controversial 48-man travel squad limitation were too much for the Bulldogs in Oxford, Mississippi. Ray Goff, who was injured in this game, goes for 19 yards and a first down. 39, Kevin McLee carries the ball 10 yards to the 14. McLee fumbled as he reached the goal line, an indication of the problems that the Bulldogs would have throughout the afternoon. Georgia gained 197 yards in the first quarter and could score but once. Ray Goff got the initial tally with his 17-yard run to put the Bulldogs out front 7-0. Alan Levitt kicked the extra point. Glenn Harrison was hurt on this play, which did not help the Georgia squad at all. As he went down, he hurt his shoulder. You can tell that he's in pain. Alan Levitt, one of the best kickers in collegiate football, tried in vain to kick with a badly pulled muscle. Problems. Ole Miss wins in an upset, 28-13. In the rain at Vanderbilt, the Bulldogs got off to a great start. Andy Reid scores on the counter to give Georgia a 7-3 lead. Kerry Long, filling in for Levitt, gets his first extra point. On Long's kickoff, Butch Box, number 22, shows how he developed a reputation as one of the best tacklers on any kicking unit in Bulldog history. Paul Isler fumbles to Lawrence Kraft, which sets up the most talked about play in Georgia's exciting season. On the next play, Ray Goff sprinted around the right side to set up the play for the Bulldogs. And then came the famous shoestring play. Goff pitched out to Gene Washington on the left side, and the Bulldogs escorted him 36 yards down the field to score against Vandy. Here it is again on replay. You won't see it start because none of the cameras in the stadium were rolling at the time. Goff scooped it up, pitched it out to Washington, and he took off, embarrassing Vanderbilt. The defense came up with big plays like this Johnny Henderson interception. Henderson's interception was followed by another steal by Mark Mitchell. Athens native Hilton Young gets Georgia's 4th TD, and it was a 47-3 romp by the Bulldogs at the final whistle. Kentucky and Sonny Collins were stopped by the Junkyard Dogs, and Glenn Harrison came up with another one of his great runs. On this play, he goes for 34 yards, getting a block by Gene Washington, but making it mostly on his own for the Bulldogs' first score. Harrison was incredible all season, but on this next replay, you'll see just how incredible this run was. 2, 3, 4 times he should have been stopped by Kentucky tacklers. Now here, Tolston fumbles, and Ben Zambezi is there to recover. Pride of Moultrie, Ray Goff, goes 26 yards on the bootleg. Kentucky was a good game for Goff. On this play, he goes in for the score. The Junkyard Dog defense was beginning to make a name for itself. And the great Sonny Collins found out just how tough it was. One of the leaders of the Junkyard Dog defense was David Schwach, number 26. Good play here by Bobby Thompson. He intercepts Tolston's pass to set up the Bulldogs' final touchdown. Then Goff takes it in behind All-American Randy Johnson and Joe Tereshinski for a 21-13 Bulldog final. The Richmond Spiders outplayed the Bulldogs much of the afternoon, and it took a determined offensive effort to keep the Bulldogs in the game. Matt Robinson hits Gene Washington for 15. Then McLee on 4th down from the 2 goes over, and Georgia takes a 7-3 lead. This is Breezy Reed's son, Andy, going for 13 with the ball juggling a bit, but he holds on. Matt Robinson at quarterback goes for 19 on the counter option play. Then Robinson gets the touchdown, and the Bulldogs are up 14-10. Glenn Harrison. Make no mistake.
A copy from someone smarter next week.
But that's up to you, sir. You assign the seats.
To history. Then Robinson sneaks from the 1 to put Georgia ahead 21-7. The winning TD came in the fourth quarter. Robinson hits McLee for 12. McLee then goes 14 yards on the next play to show that he can catch the pass and make yardage or run. McLee scores to give the Dogs a hard-fought 28-24 victory over Richmond. Here's a replay of the score. Kevin McLee, only a sophomore. Down in Jacksonville, the powerful Florida Gators were heavily favored, and Georgia had problems denting the strong Gator defense. Ray Goff hits Washington for 22 yards to get things moving in the second quarter. Glenn Harrison, following Andy Reid's block, gets 21 tough yards. In 1975, Harrison had the best season average in Georgia history, 6.8 yards per carry. He ended up with the best career average, 6.4 yards per carry. That's better than Hall of Famers Charlie Trippi and Frankie Sinkwich. Levitt comes in to kick a 21-yard field goal, and the Gators lead 7-3. Left-footer Bucky Dilts gets off a 52-yard punt, and Steve Collier makes a sure tackle. It's in the third quarter now against Florida. The Junkyard Dogs come alive on this play. Fisher gets only 2 yards. Jim Griffith, Jim Baker, and Ben Zambezi make the stop. On fourth, Green's attempt for a first down is not good as Baker, Griffith, and Rusty Russell make one of the key plays of the game. Had Florida converted the fourth down play, they would have retained possession in 1975. Georgia led 10-7, but the Gators still had time, but Posey's field goal attempt was no good from the 21. The Bulldogs had one of the most exciting triumphs of the year. Final score in Jacksonville, Georgia 10, Florida 7. Auburn was tough in Athens, and it was a tough day for Georgia's great sophomore runner, Kevin McLee. He's injured on this play early in the game against the Auburn Tigers. Broke his ankle. It's amazing how McLee was able to leave the game under his own power with a broken ankle. Here's Glenn Harrison going in for a Georgia touchdown. And then Al Pollard scores for Georgia's second score. Pollard is from Macon, Georgia. Andy Reid, number 34, picks his way downfield. 21 yards against the Tigers. Then on this play, Reid gets the touchdown and Georgia leads 18-13. Watch Bill Krug make one of the greatest defensive plays seen in Sanford Stadium in many years as he clamps Gargis on the back, reaches around, strips the ball away from him. Georgia recovers. Jim Griffith made the recovery for the Bulldogs, and it killed an Auburn threat. Alan Levitt is now back in good shape and shows his old form with a 51-yard field goal to put Georgia ahead 21-13. Then it's Andy Reid, 26 yards on a tough run for the final touchdown, as Georgia wins it against Auburn. Final score, 28-13. Night before a nationally televised audience. On the game's first play, Georgia Tech's Danny Myers, number 21, is intercepted by Bobby Thompson. He returns it 17 yards. Ray Goff, number 10 of Georgia, gets the first TD, goes in from the 1, and Georgia leads 7-0. Pat Moriarty fumbles as he's hit hard by Jeff Lewis. Ben Zambezi recovers for the Bulldogs. Tech's Bucky Schamberger makes a good play, a good individual effort on a long headed for the Georgia goal. But a better effort is made by Bobby Thompson as he comes from behind to stop him at the Georgia 25. Bill Krug pulls his stripping act again, taking the ball away from Adrian Rucka, and Sescuti recovers. Later, great blocking on that play. Another break comes for the Bulldogs as Pollard's fumble is caught in the air by Appleby for a first down combination. Now it's Lawrence Kraft's turn to score as he picks Sims' fumble off the pile and goes 19 yards for Georgia's third score. Then E.O. Wheeler goes back to punt. It's blocked by Bill Krug. Beautiful pass play. Robinson is back, throws to Richard Appleby, threads the needle between two defenders, and Appleby goes down close to the Georgia Tech goal. Here's a replay. It goes for 32 yards. Al Pollard takes it over, and Georgia leads 28-0 at the half. In the third quarter, Ray Goff hits Mark Wilson for a 13-yard touchdown to put the Bulldogs up by 35-0. National audience saw it via ABC's minicam that was right on top of the play and the joy as the Bulldogs celebrated. Next, it's Hilton Young carrying the ball for the Bulldogs. And then Al Pollard gets the final Georgia score for an incredible 42-0 lead. Pollard goes 3 yards. Georgia wrapped up its final game 42-26 over the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets at Grant Field, Atlanta, Georgia. Harrison, McLee, Reed, Pollard, Goff, Robinson carried the ball and the glory throughout this exciting year, led by All-American Randy Johnson, Steve and Mike Wilson, Joe Tereshinski, Ken Helms, Joel Parrish, Hugh Hendricks, Richard Appleby, Gene Washington, and Mark Wilson. There was plenty of running room most of the time, but Harrison, the darling of Georgia fans, got much of it on his own. And his final game in the Cotton Bowl brought the harsh reality to Bulldog followers that Gliding Glen is gone. But the Junkyard Dogs, they'll be back in 1976.